When NFI was founded in 1994, more than one-third of all children in the United States were living in homes absent of their biological fathers. Research showed that these children faced a host of risks to their physical, emotional, social, and economic well-being. However, the issue of father absence, as big as it was, flew under the radar screen. NFI was formed to sound a clarion call and start a social movement to raise awareness about and reverse the most consequential social trend of our time: widespread father absence. NFI's objective is twofold. First, we want to influence the culture to support the notion that every child deserves a great dad. Second, we want to equip every organization in the country, be it a prison, a military base, a social service agency, a child support office, or a YMCA, with the tools they need to effectively serve the fathers in their communities. To accomplish the first objective, we need a reliable pool of general operating funders, as awareness-raising activities are generally not revenue-generating activities. To accomplish the second objective, we must convince organizations that serving fathers specifically, in addition to parents generically, will help them accomplish their missions, and that NFI is the organization that can best help them to do that. NFI leverages two unique positions in this country. First, individuals and organizations view NFI as an honest broker on this issue. We have been able to work with people from across the political and ideological spectrum, with faith-based and secular groups, and with people of all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic backgrounds to address this issue in a broad-based and relevant way. In both our culture change work and our work to support other nonprofits and government agencies, this honest broker status serves us well. Second, the quality of our fatherhood skill-building materials and training programs is unsurpassed. No other organization has distributed as many materials or trained as many organizations on how to serve fathers. Moreover, after organizations use our materials, they realize that they are of the highest quality and effectiveness. NFI employs what we call a 3E strategy to accomplish its mission: educate, equip, and engage. More broadly, we have identified our core competencies and pursue only the work that engages one or more of them. They are the development and distribution of products and services, influencing the conversation on fatherhood in the public square, and designing and executing projects. Focusing on these competencies has allowed us to become the #1 provider of fatherhood skill-building materials in the nation, the #1 trainer of community-based organizations, and the most quoted authority on fatherhood in America. We employ a dashboard with the most critical metrics for determining our success. From a micro and process perspective, we measure our success based on growth in the total number of people we reach with our public education efforts, the number of organizations and facilitators we train on our programs, and the number of fatherhood resources we distribute. We also measure outcomes through rigorous, independent, third-party evaluations of our programs, which include 24/7 Dad and Inside Out Dad. These evaluations have shown that our programs create statistically significant increases in pro-fathering knowledge, attitudes, and skills among a diverse group of fathers and in diverse community-based settings. On a macro level, we monitor the U.S. Census Bureau data to determine whether the proportion of children in father-absent homes decreases over time. NFI is often mistaken for a direct service organization, that we provide training and support directly to fathers. That's not the case. We are instead a capacity-building organization that provides direct service organizations with the resources that they need to serve fathers in their communities. We are also often mistaken as a government entity. We are not. We are a private, independent nonprofit that predates most government-run and funded fatherhood efforts. In fact, we helped many state governments run their fatherhood programs in the 1990s and 2000s. Over the past 19 years, NFI has become the nation's leading voice for responsible fatherhood. We have also advised the federal government on how to address fatherhood issues since the mid-1990s. Efforts such as Inside Out Dad, the only evidence-based program in the country that is designed specifically for incarcerated fathers, is in more than 400 correctional facilities. Moreover, 25 states have standardized the program across all of their facilities for men. Finally, we have distributed nearly 650,000 resources to all 5 major branches of the military, including through the establishment of fatherhood resource centers at Air Force bases all over the world. From a macro perspective, it's been a challenge to convince the public of the importance of our work. NFI is a second question organization in a first question world. What I mean is that well-meaning people often want to address the first question, how can I help a child in need? But to really get to the heart of prevention in NFI's work, you have to ask the second question, why does that child need my help in the first place? NFI provides an answer to that question by working upstream to strengthen the family. But this approach takes a lot more explanation, and there is no obvious and powerless beneficiary for us to point at to show our impact. From a micro perspective, several of the private foundations that funded our work from the mid-1990s into the 2000s have pulled out of the fatherhood field. Many of these foundations provided general operating support to NFI. It's been a challenge to find new foundations to replace them because so many find value only in funding first question organizations. It's critical that NFI maintains its role as the voice for fatherhood in the public square because that work isn't self-sustaining. We need foundation support to continue it. We would also use new support to fund additional evaluations of our current programs as the desire to fund evidence-based programs continues to grow. Finally, we would use additional resources to develop new products and services and to modify our existing ones to meet the ever-changing market needs for high-quality programming for fathers. We would like to have a more robust multimedia operation that would enable us to continue to evolve our public education efforts and engagement of our key audiences, the general public and the other organizations we serve. Through things like videos, podcasts, infographics, social media, and other tools, we could address the challenge of communicating the complexity of our work as a second question organization and our role as a capacity builder, which, as detailed earlier, are ideas that are more difficult to convey than a traditional direct service organization.